Talofa lava and greetings from Samoa. I am pleased to present our second VNI report on the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Samoa is a small island developing state in the Pacific with a population of less than 200,000 people. Our heritage traces back 3,000 years. Our vision is for all Samoans to live quality lives while respecting and protecting our land and ocean resources. This is underpinned by our unique communal Samoa culture and traditions. We take collective responsibility for each other, our ainga or families, our villages and country. At the same time, we respect individual human rights. Our development and resolve as a people is increasingly challenged by external shocks, more frequent and intense natural hazards, and more recently, health crises. Since our first report, we have integrated the SDGs Samoa pathway and other global priorities into our national development planning, budgeting, partnership arrangements, and accountability processes. Deepening national ownership and improving data collection was crucial. Inclusive and effective stakeholder engagement was improved using existing platforms. We engaged different stakeholders, including through the SDG School Forum, parliamentary briefings, and the 84th session of CRC in Apia. Despite the measles and the COVID-19 lockdowns, we held data and report consultations engaging 150 stakeholders from government, civil society organizations, private sector, UN system, and international organizations.
For the second VNR, the Government of Samoa, through the SDG task force that is led by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, requested the support of the United Nations, involving the UN Resident Coordinator Office in the engagement with non-resident UN organizations as well as with other global organizations that are custodians of SDG indicators. As a result of this process, the second VNI report before us is truthful, it has been informed by high-quality evidence, and it also presents genuinely the challenges ahead that Samoa, as a small island state, will need to overcome.
Our report focuses on the people, goals, and provides highlights across all other goals. Investing in our people, infrastructure, and essential services have been the cornerstone of our development journey. We have achieved some positive results. Education is compulsory and fee-free for public schools with universal access to primary education. There is almost universal access to clean water, sanitation, roads, and electricity. Our infrastructure is more climate resilient and inclusive. There is no extreme hunger, and less mothers are dying at childbirth. People have better access to public health services and facilities, while there are more women than men in top management in the public sector. Representation of women in Parliament is increasing, and more children with disabilities are enrolled in schools. Building resilience to disasters and climate change is fully integrated across all sectors and at the community level. For the past years, there is more attention on addressing the needs of women, children, youth, the elderly, and persons with disabilities. However, more work needs to be done.
The Government of Samoa continues to realize the rights of persons with disabilities in all of its efforts. The ratification of the International Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is indeed a huge commitment.
One of the challenges, of course, is making sure that the process of inclusion is well understood at all levels, and making sure that it is not a tick in a box, but it is an inclusion both on paper and in action, and making sure that the concept of inclusion is not just having the conversation after developments. It's having the conversation and making sure that persons with disabilities remains in the center of all developments, from the design, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation.
Despite our many challenges overall, we have achieved good economic growth. Our investment in small and medium enterprises and internet connectivity is improving business transactions, enabling financial inclusion and economic empowerment of women, youth, and persons with disabilities.
Because I'm on a wheelchair, it's Maua app is very easy for me to use it, because I'm sit here at my stall and people they make their order on the Maua app, and then I accept it, and then the deliverer come and take the order, and then my money go through in my account.
Maua help us to pay my registration fee of my car, and also my water fee, and also some of my family things like food.
Samoa is no stranger to environmental threats. Thus, we have strengthened our adaptive capacity, early warning systems, and disaster risk planning and response. We continue to invest in ambitious climate action and are on track to meet our nationally determined contributions. Importantly, we have engaged our communities in marine and terrestrial protection and management efforts. We have banned plastic bags in 2019 and styrofoam products for this year. Samoa is blessed with a generally peaceful and safe society with an active media community. The crime levels, while increasing, are still comparatively low. Parliamentary elections are considered open and fair. Order and security are supported by our whaamatai and traditional village system that works closely with an unarmed police force. Samoa has an A status national human rights institution, and with other mechanisms continue to enhance a human rights-based approach to development. For Samoa, implementing all the SDGs rely on the whole of society approach premised on strong leadership, effective capacities, sustainable financing, and durable, mutually accountable partnerships. There is increased domestic financing and stable ODA and FDI levels. Debt, while high, is sustainable. Samoa has built strong partnerships in the implementations of its development framework, as was demonstrated in the collective response to the 2019 measles epidemic. Samoa is one of the few Pacific governments that has dedicated government and development partner financing facilities for civil society and private sectors. Excellencies, while there is progress, not all are benefiting equally, and there are many challenges remaining. For example, literacy and numeracy at all levels are declining. Rising NCDs levels, income inequality is significant, and 1 in 5 of Samoans are living under hardship conditions. The loss of our biodiversity is also worsening. We are struggling with high levels of violence against women and children. The measles epidemic in 2019 was devastating for Samoa. The experience tested our resolve as a nation, but it reaffirmed our genuine partnerships and taught us important lessons.
Se ilunga ete mo ilo fala be malulu te mo e mafana fana be ofea ole nei la lolangi ete au mawai ete manatu alo tunu.
On SDG implementation, we face persistent challenges of limited resources, administrative capacity, skill gaps in data analysis and management. While Samoa values the support from all partners, uncoordinated SDGs efforts lead to duplication and further strain limited capacity. The biggest challenge for Samoa is our increased vulnerability to external shocks, disasters and emerging threats, including the 2019 measles epidemic and the ongoing COVID-19 situation.
So certainly from a country level, the state of emergency has restricted activities, which has impact on businesses, also having an impact on employees, the families, as well as our government. For the last 3 months, we have recorded 0 tourists for the first time, as well as 0 tourist earnings. So that certainly has a huge, significant bearing on the private sector.
Samoa's next steps are taken within the context of an unpredictable future, exacerbated by COVID-19 situation. Our ability to develop a strategic response will determine the achievements of many of the SDGs. Samoa will use its VNR process and findings to feed into our new 5-year strategy for development, inform the Samoa 2040 vision, and help our COVID-19 response. Finally, government will continue to ensure strong and decisive leadership and strengthen a whole-of-society approach. We need to accelerate progress and improve the quality of life for all by leaving no one behind. Thank you, and soifua.
Let's